In the summer of 1518, in the bustling city of Strasbourg, something strange began to unfold, an event so bizarre, so unexplainable, that it has puzzled historians for centuries. This is the story of the dancing plague. The early 16th century was a time of great upheaval in Europe. Strasbourg, a prosperous city along the Rhine, was no exception. The city was recovering from a harsh winter, famine, and waves of disease that had left the population weary and fearful. Amid this backdrop of uncertainty, something even more terrifying would soon grip the city. It all started with one woman, Frau Trophäa. On a warm July morning, she stepped into the streets of Strasbourg and began to dance. But this was no ordinary dance. Her movements were frantic, uncontrolled, and she seemed unable to stop. Hours passed, and still she danced, her body defying exhaustion. Within days, more people joined her, as if caught in the grip of an invisible force. By the end of the week, dozens were dancing in the streets, and by the end of the month, the number had swelled to nearly 400. Men, women, and even children danced ceaselessly, their bodies moving as if possessed. The city was in chaos, as the dancers showed no signs of stopping, some collapsing from sheer exhaustion, only to rise again and continue. The city authorities, baffled by the strange epidemic, sought help from local physicians. The diagnosis: hot blood, an excess of bodily fluids that caused an imbalance leading to uncontrollable movement. The prescribed cure? Let them dance it out. Believing this was the only way to purge the madness, the city council cleared a public space, hired musicians, and even erected a stage to allow the dancers to continue their strange ritual. The hope was that, by allowing the dancers to exhaust themselves, the plague would run its course. But what caused this strange plague? Over the centuries, several theories have emerged. Some historians believe it was a case of mass hysteria, a psychological phenomenon where extreme stress and fear spread among the population, manifesting in physical symptoms. This theory suggests that the people of Strasbourg, already burdened by famine, disease, and social unrest, were pushed to a breaking point. Another popular theory is ergot poisoning. Ergot, a toxic mold that grows on rye, was known to cause hallucinations, convulsions, and even gangrene. The symptoms of ergotism, also known as St. Anthony's fire, bear a striking resemblance to the behaviours exhibited during the dancing plague. Could it be that the bread made from contaminated rye triggered this bizarre event? And then there were those who believed it was a curse, a punishment from St. Vitus, the patron saint of dancers, and those afflicted by nervous disorders. In the Middle Ages, it was not uncommon for people to attribute inexplicable events to divine or supernatural causes. Some thought that the dancers were possessed, their wild movements a form of penance or divine retribution. After weeks of relentless dancing, the plague finally began to subside. The remaining dancers were taken to a shrine dedicated to St. Vitus, where they were prayed over and blessed. Slowly, the strange compulsion to dance left them. Many were left physically and mentally scarred by the ordeal, their bodies broken by the ceaseless movement, their minds haunted by the memories of those terrifying weeks. The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most enigmatic events. While the true cause may never be known, it serves as a stark reminder of the mysterious and sometimes terrifying power of the human mind. In the centuries since, it has been the subject of countless studies and artistic interpretations, but the questions it raises about mass hysteria, belief, and the fragility of society remain as relevant as ever. A dance with death, a moment of madness, an unforgettable chapter in the history of Strasbourg.